tied into my career as a clinical scientist. I knew that internal medicine was the field that most clinical scientists did, and because of the emphasis on cognitive function as opposed to procedures, I thought it would be the one to most easily marry with a research experience as well. I think it's really challenging and really interesting, um, and that's certainly up at the top. Also, you have the opportunity to provide primary care even as a specialist, and I really like that kind of contact and connection with people. Well, there's a lot of factors that go into how we evaluate applicants, but I would say, if I were going to try to capsulize it, that the most important thing is the commitment to becoming a lifelong learner and constantly striving to make yourself better. I think that's really important in internal medicine and specialties. Yes and no. I want to emphasize this point. It's so obvious to residencies when students do research to polish their CVs. I think a research experience is great because I think choosing to do research or choosing not to do research as part of your career is an important life decision. On the flip side, the limited amount of time that most people can put into a research experience is such that if you are able to get publications, it's really more a matter of luck than anything else. I'm not saying that kids don't work hard on their research experiences and it's not for real. I understand that people are trying really hard. But the reality is, for a student to spend a summer research elective or even a year part-time doing research, the chance of really doing something significant is pretty minimal. So if you get things that polish your CV, it's really more a matter of just who you've worked with and their skills as a scientist and investigator, as opposed to the student's skills. And again, programs are savvy to that. When a student spends a summertime in a research lab and has 5 publications with their name on it, the program understands that they were with a very productive mentor who gets a lot of publications for the team that work with him. In contrast, if you had a summer and you didn't have any publications, that doesn't knock the student's effort. It simply highlights that the lab didn't have anything worth reporting come out of that summer's experience, which I can tell you from my 31 years in the business is not atypical. The simple truth of the matter is that most careers in medicine are consuming. They tend to require a lot of your effort, not just during work hours, but beyond work hours as you constantly strive to be better at what you do. I find that for me, I have sufficient time for my family simply because I don't really have any interests outside of both my family and my career. That's not to say that we don't have any interests. I mean, we do a bunch of athletic things, and my family does that with me, and frankly, work isn't something that I'm really good at leaving at work. I take those things home and take patient calls and think about research things at home as well. But I'm able to cover the family issues and work issues in large part because I don't have a lot of other interests that distract me from those two areas. I think the biggest challenges in internal medicine and academic medicine are the economic crisis that the country currently faces, which decreases and will decrease reimbursement to doctors and hospitals, as well as decrease the availability of funds used to support research grants. Those are very real challenges. On the flip side, there are also opportunities because, at least on the side of healthcare, we have to find a way to make healthcare better in order to save money rather than just decreasing the services that we provide to the public. On the research side, as unpleasant as downturns in funding are, they do tend to make you think very critically and very seriously about how to optimize your work and remain competitive. And generally, one's research efforts get better because of the adversity. I know that sounds rather pap, but it's true. You do get better when you have to. Back to my theme of the lifelong learner. If you're not interested in being a lifelong learner, you probably should pick a different field. That's the appeal. The appeal to internal medicine and its specialties is you're constantly going to have to grow and reinvent yourself. If you're not happy with that, if you just like to learn a certain set of skills that'll keep you intact forever and ever, you probably would be happier in a different field.